real, then I think it would look something like that. In 2022, I bought out the Mirage coin set, and it immediately got rave reviews from the entire magic community. People who'd never done coin magic before and experienced coin workers were all raving about the quality of the routines and the quality of the gimmicks. Well, now I'm back in 2023. I'm proud to bring for you what I consider to be one of the strongest tricks I've ever created, the Apparition coin set. Watch and don't blink, because if magic was real, it would look something like...
What? No! What the...
Hi guys, and welcome to this week's AlakazamMagicUK Live. And remember, this Thursday we have got that live launch happening of Apparition. And I just want to say, if you were lucky enough to grab one at Blackpool, if you use your password or your code that's printed inside the box, if you use that in the redeem section in your account, you can do that today if you want. And then go into your Academy section, you should see the holding screen for the after show party that's going to be happening on Thursday. So even if you don't buy it live, you've already got it, you can still join us. Now, I will say, I think you may have to click on one of the Apparition little screens at the bottom for it to pop up, but have a look, redeem it. And if you've got any problems, let us know, but you'll be able to join us for the after show as well. I know a few of you did pick it up at Blackpool because we sold out. Sean Mann, thank you, Sean. Sean said, Apparition is so good, been doing it at every opportunity. Sean picked one up at Blackpool. Thanks a lot, Sean. Just want to say a few hellos to people. We've got Gavin, hiya Gavin, Sean, of course, Roy, Paul, Gavin, Steve, Adam, John, Ian, Panda Man, Alex, thank you all for joining us. Couple of things. Oh, here we go. Our good friend Roy Smith was lucky enough to see our very own Wayne Goodman live last night. He travelled to Edinburgh to do an Alakazam dealer dem. He's flying back today, hence he's not on the live. Oh, brilliant. So Wayne will actually be down here at the shop tomorrow and Thursday. We've got some filming to do, and then he'll be joining us back on the live next Tuesday, and he might even be on the live launch. Who knows? But I have got a special guest with me today. We've got the amazing and talented Mr. Noel Quarter.
Hello, everybody.
How are you, Noel?
I'm all right. I'm good.
Good. You've just popped. You haven't popped in for the live. I've just pulled you in here because you were down for something else.
Yeah, I want you to fix some tricks of mine, but it's always good to see you and to get pulled into the live. It's no, it's good to be here. So
Noel, we've got a friend of ours that comes on here on the chats called John. John, I believe, is from Canada, and he always posts these really good questions, right?
Great.
So there's one that he posted that we'll speak to Craig about, because not Craig, Wayne, sorry, because I know it's outside your remit as it is mine. It's about kid shows. But one of them, which is right up your street, actually, because this is something that a lot of people mostly don't know about you, is you've worked a lot in TV.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, and not for a few years, but certainly done a ton of it in the past. Yeah.
So, a question that John asked, which is an interesting question, is if a trick comes with TV rights withheld, what is the process you go through?
It's an interesting thing, I suppose. The whole TV rights withheld thing is an interesting question in itself of what does that mean, what level of enforcing is it. But if you're trying to do the right thing, and you should, most Magic creators who are saying that are widely available. I don't think it would take too much work to find them on Facebook, to find them on Google, and then contact them and find out what it is. It might just be, some magic tricks might just be the creator wants to find out a bit more about you, who are you, where are you going to do it. There's a world of difference between America's Got Talent versus, your local cable access sort of TV show or something like that, or, Good Morning, a tiny little show. It doesn't, those things are not the same thing. So if they just want to find out what it is, where you're doing it, what the routine's going to look like to make sure you don't, do a bad job with their creation. It might also mean that money is involved or credit is involved. They're sort of I think the three sort of ways that it would either be, and obviously if it is, maybe if the creator can then use that footage to push his trick, I think they'll be equally happy with it as well. But you just need to start that dialogue, and the way you'll do that is by finding them online and start it. I think if someone says rights withheld, I'd be stunned if they were hard to find. I think if they're saying that, they're probably a pretty easy to find online.
Yeah, no, that's a really good answer. Really good answer. And I mean, with AlakazamMagicUK, I've never withheld the rights to anything. I believe if you purchase the trick, then you should be able to perform it. And I always say, as long as there's no exposure.
Yeah.
And we've been lucky enough that a lot of people have contacted us, even though I don't withheld rights. We have a lot of people contact us saying, oh, we want to do this on a show in America or over here or over there. Is that all right? And I always say, as long as there's no exposure and it's treated respectfully, then I'm more than happy for you to do it.
Of course, and it's nice to be asked, and it's nice, and if you think, once you're asked, obviously there'll be a period of months before you see anything. But then, it's always nice if the person that's performed it say, when it's done, send me a link. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Like I said, if that helps you do a soft little promotion of an older piece that you put out, then that's just a nice little side thing. I think that's a fair sort of currency, which is let me know when it's done. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I don't think there was any trick that we did on the show that we needed, that when I was working on TV, that we needed rights for, but there are a few. There seems to be more now.
It's more popular now, isn't it? And also, it sort of comes with mentalism tax, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just the things are just going to be inherently that little bit more expensive, or small little.
Yeah, more
thing.
exclusive.
More exclusive. People will say just about anything if in the end the result is, and that's the reason why it's got several extra zeros at the end.
Yeah.
But and the truth is, exclusivity does have a price, and if you know that can't be done on TV, there are some tricks that I can think of that can't be done on TV, and I think are very good reasons for those. And the truth is, more exposure happens from magicians cocking things up than it ever does from someone explaining the method to a magic trick on a YouTube video. So if you've got an expensive item or a thing that someone holds dear and it's done on TV and you do it shockingly, and then that's the Saturday night tea time viewing where people say, oh yeah, remember when that magic trick and the thing fell off his thumb or whatever it is that is the thing. I think you've literally just exposed it to the world. So that's one of the reasons why people might say that rights are withheld, because they want to find out what kind of a magician are you, and have you got yourself in too deep with a trick you cannot do in an environment that is incredibly stressful.
Yeah, no, that's a really good answer. So I hope that answers your question. There is another question from John as well, which we'll ask in a moment. Hi, Wayne Goodman has joined us. Hi, Wayne.
Hi, Wayne.
Most probably sitting in the airport.
Exactly.
Waiting for his flight, bless him.
Well, it'd be first class, wouldn't it, I imagine, with AlakazamMagicUK?
Of course. I didn't pay. I told him to walk. So, I've got another question for you as well.
Go on.
You must have seen that video that's been going around Facebook.
The thing from yesterday, yeah. The guy, and he's not a magician, and the
No.
oh,
The guy doing French kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so for anyone that hasn't seen this, there's a video going around about a magician. I think he's on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is, and he's doing Wayne Houchin's effect French Kiss, which is basically a spectator selects a card, their card is signed, it's folded, and they hold it between their teeth, or between their lips, so the card's sticking out a bit. You then choose a card, fold yours, put yours there, and then the cards touch. You don't kiss, your lips don't go near each other or anything else, but you sort of touch the cards, and it's if you're going in for a kiss. But when you take yours out, you've now got the card that was in their mouth and vice versa. Lovely trick, it's a great effect, but this magician does it on stage, and the woman's husband or partner, I presume, comes up and whacks him really hard. Now, for one, I mean, I don't agree with that anyway, but what I was going to say is, do you think this is like the aftermath of Will Smith?
It might be a little bit, isn't it?
It seems like it's, and this is what a lot of comedians were saying after Will Smith did what he did, and I'm a big Will Smith fan, I will say that, but after that happened, they said it's sort of made it all right. It's not all right, but it's sort of in people's mind. It's like, oh, that's how you act if you don't like something that's going on.
Certainly, celebrities are put on a pedestal. If that's what they do, then little people can definitely do the same. No, it's an interesting one. Like when I watched it, that trick, as like a lot of tricks, requires the magicians to be so smart and to understand subtlety, to understand how they're perceived. So, like, what you want with that trick is you want those uncomfortable laughs followed by a moment of amazement.
Yeah.
But if you do it wrong, you've just got, this stinky middle-aged man just, because the nature of the trick is it's got this flirty aspect to it.
Yeah.
And that can be played for laughs. But why didn't you get the laughs in other ways? Picks, a huge bloke, and then maybe that's, and you're doing the same routine. You don't have to, this constant idea of, and the young lady in the front row, maybe you could help me, watching middle-aged men slightly flirting with women, or picking them constantly for tricks, with the suggestion that, oh, well, they will clearly give the best reaction. That's all of that nonsense is gone. Like, I just pick the right person. Do not be thinking, and this is the trick where I, choose the young, pretty lady that they will give a great reaction, or they will look really uncomfortable. Pick the right person, and that gender isn't important.
So this is a question I've got for you, Noel. I don't know why I keep asking you these questions, but this is about a trick of mine, and the reason why I'm asking it is because I was discussing this morning, actually, when Wayne called me this morning, and he was staying at Tricky Ricky's house. Do you know Tricky Ricky from Edinburgh? So he was staying at his house, and Tricky Ricky bought up a trick he bought off me 25, 30 years ago.
Can't get a refund at this point.
Yeah, I said that. But it was common sense.
Oh, yeah.
Common sense. And it's still one of my favourite tricks, and it's so simple. Can you still perform that the way I designed it now? I would say you can. But can you or can't you? I don't know. I mean, for anyone that doesn't know the effect, I've got a bunch of cards with different perfumes on them. Someone will select one. It can be a lady or a man. It doesn't matter. They wipe it on their wrist while you're not looking. Your head's turned. They then get rid of the card. You turn round, you smell their wrist, and you can immediately tell them what perfume they selected. Now, there are other ways to do it, but the thing I used to love about smelling the wrist was I would look about the room after, and you just see everyone doing this to their mates. And for such a simple trick, the impact of that trick far outweighed what you thought it would be. But is that now going too far?
No, so again, it's the same category as French Kiss, and there's other ones we can think of as well, where there is a reason for contact, and it's motivated But as long as you don't feel, if you don't look like the stinky, leechy magician who's got that slightly weird smile at that exact moment, I think it's okay, because they can tell intention with magic tricks. I think with that, you can do it. You can do it as a pseudo-science experiment where you make a feature out of the whole thing, which is I just need to take out a wipe or something, like a dry wipe or something like that, and so put this into a vial for a moment and just leave that there for a second. Okay, yeah, that smells like that. So you can make that into a feature, but I think it requires subtlety. You need to understand why you're doing the routine. Are you doing it purely for that cheap sort of like unpleasant? I'm doing this so as I get to hold your wrist for a moment and smile with a daft grin. Don't do that. That's clearly wrong. I think if you just do it and you have no ill intentions, I think the audience will understand that. So
it was never designed as that sort of flirty thing or whatever. And it purely and I always used to say, you don't mind me smelling your wrist, right? So I would do it, and I would hold the hand quite lightly, smell, and instantly put it down, and then look at them and tell them what they had. But there was never any gags there. Do you know what I mean? It was.
But you can imagine magicians. I can, even though you haven't put them there, they could find them, and then you're not guilty for what they do. But I would say to magicians around the world, definitely do that trick, but just be aware that if there's contact involved, just be aware that don't do it to try and make people feel uncomfortable. In fact, it's a lesson for all of you, all of us. Never do any trick where where the only laugh you've got is I'm going to put someone through a squeaky moment so they feel uncomfortable and I get a laugh out, because that's really cheap.
Yeah, and that's the thing. With this effect in particular, it was never done as a comedy thing. It never made them feel awkward, because it was quite a natural thing. When you go out with your girlfriend, you pop in and she tries on the perfume. No doubt she does that. And it's sort of quite a natural action. And like I said, the reactions it used to get. And I used to see people just walking around going, there's nothing there though. I can't, it's such a great trick. But you
get that category of you've got this perceived skill that is something that is so insane that it becomes magical. But of course, as we know, there are in perfume houses people who really have got this incredible sense of smell. It's almost believable as a real skill. Yeah, and
it's just interesting because it come up in conversation today. I mean, Tricky Ricky bought one off me, he said 26 years ago, and a week later he had a job in a department store where he was performing in the perfume department.
Perfect.
He said it was just fantastic. Also, we've got a message come in from Chris that says, well done on the full note, so powerful and as close to real magic as it's going to get.
Oh, well, thanks, Chris. Much appreciated.
Let me have a quick look here, because there's been questions coming in while we've been talking. Oh, there you go, Noel. I don't know if you want to talk about this. So you don't have to explain method or anything, but let them know what the app's about, what's it called, because this thing is, last time you were here, we spoke about it briefly, but you performed it to the guys in the shop, and I know both Harry and Andy are both doing it now.
It's a great bit. So yeah, it's the answer to if you really love the idea of doing built-in possible location, but you can do more things. It's a really clean way of doing built-in possible location where you don't need anything else. You could literally just be with your mates out of the pub and make a borrowed £10 or £20 note, disappear and reappear in an amazing location, and you are using a digital torn corner is the best way of sort of thinking about that as magicians. So in the past we might have used torn corner as evidence. In this you're using a digital proof, but it's very convincing. You're doing it on a spectator's phone, and it comes with lots of other routines. And there's a Facebook group that's got some fantastic ideas. Every day, someone's putting up more sort of cracking ideas with it. So the routine's called ISO. You can get it on the App Store. It's only for iPhone, so on the Apple Store, have a look for ISO Magic Trick, and you find it there. But there's, like I said, there's tricks with a deck of cards. There's some great Rubik's Cubes for all those Rubik's Cubes guys. For the routines, you can buy expensive Rubik's Cube gimmicks, which are wonderful. I'm sure Pete will sell you. But with the app, you can do something very similar to what you would do for a matching routine with the Rubik's Cube, and card tricks and banknote tricks, tons of different stuff. But yeah, more ideas coming all the time. So yeah, worth your consideration.
It's really good. The routine you did to us in the shop was great.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely phenomenal. So Alex Fern has said, when is the launch of Knock 'em Dead? We are planning on launching Knock 'em Dead. Now this is the new version of Knock 'em Dead. There was Knock 'em Dead that I released about 28 years ago. There was Knock 'em Dead 2 I released about 12 years ago. This is Knock 'em Dead, the 25th anniversary edition. I called it 25th because 28th anniversary don't sound great. So I called it the 25th anniversary edition. This is coming out. It's slated for release next month, so keep an eye out for that. We're just making some more up as we speak. And the new version is the version that Nick Lacapo performed on the Penguin video. So if you're wondering what that was the new version of Knock 'em Dead, the 25th anniversary edition that he picked up off me at Blackpool. Oh yeah, and Rich said, did I find it on the Penguin video? I did, thank you so much, Rich. Right, so we've got a couple of trailers to play, Noel.
Wonderful.
One of them, actually I'll play this one first. So this is a product that was on pre-sale. They just came in stock today. We've got about 6 left, I think. They sold really, really well. Let's take a look at this. Right, so that is the PSI Bell. We've got about 6 of those left in stock after all the pre-orders have been sent. So if you're interested in one, go over to the site, order it, should go out for you today. I will say, anyone that's been waiting for orders, I know our deliveries usually come in on a Monday, but our delivery got held in customs and it turned up today. So we're running 1 day behind, but they are going out. We've called in extra help to make sure all the parcels go out. Even Jenny came in today on her day off. Noel, got a question from John, directed at you, and it says, have you ever incorporated a circus act in your performance, and have you ever done busking?
No to anything circusy. Busking, yeah, once, and it went shockingly badly. I kind of like the idea of it, you know, and I wanted to do, you know, big old sort of Covent Garden street show.
Yeah.
But I'll start small and I'll go and do some close-up, basically practice in public, and I'll go and do some small stuff and figure it all out very slowly. This is 25 years ago, and I went with another magician mate, and then it went all right for a bit, and I was still, you know, doing what I would normally do, just ambitious card and bits and pieces and coins across and things like that. And people liked it, but of course, eventually, with all busking, you need to do the bottling speech. You need to get some money out of them, otherwise you are just a man practicing in public. And I know we got a couple of quid. People quite like the tricks. They were good tricks. And then I got to about 3 o'clock, and the school near, because Covent Garden is an affluent area of London with lots of tourists. But about 3 o'clock, it was kicking out time from the school. And there's, of course, you can go to school anywhere, really. So there's some proper rat bags, even though it doesn't sound likely, but some rat bags caught up with us doing these magic tricks. And my friend was doing linking rings. And these kids were just like, you know, they had strong theories on methods to tricks, very strong. And of course, with that particular
which
trick,
they wanted to wear.
well, they wanted to wear to everyone. So everyone left because basically we're having a scrap with 11-year-olds, just with them shouting. And then one kid went, "That one there, mate, there's a problem with that ring." And my mate was going, "No, I can't see any problem with it." No, there is. If you stop, you go, "I can't see any problem. I can't see any problem." Doing all the shows, I can't see any problem. And he put them away in his pocket and went, "I can't see any problem with the rings." And then the kid said, and he was quite right, "Well, not now because they're in your pocket, but that one in there, can I look at it?" And it was last time I ever went busking, going, I can't have a row with 11-year-olds. So genuinely, we made about 6 quid, which didn't cover the travel card. And yeah, truly a horrible experience. Anyone that does it has my utmost respect.
Did you actually book your slot, or did you literally go there and...
No, so there's, is it called James Street? So there's, in Covent Garden specifically, there are areas like the Piazza you need to have a booked slot, and I think it's, you know, turn up at a time that I've never seen, you know, 7 o'clock in the morning, something crazy to get your slot for the day. You might get 2 slots in the day, and that's got a different system. But there is then there's Magic Corner, which I think is...
That's near the Apple store,
That's
right?
near the Apple store, yeah. There's that junction there. And that's, and of course Covent Garden is all private property there, so it's policed by, you know, their own sort of security force, so they'll keep an eye. But Magic Corner, I think, is still sort of okay. There's always some kind of problem with it, but I think largely it's magicians and occasional other acts on that little corner there where the Apple store is. We just went about 3 shops up, like a completely illegal thing, but we just appeared to be 2 fellas doing card tricks. We didn't have a table, no funny little hat, no, you know, wand banging it around. We were just 2 guys getting to the end of some close-up tricks with about 3 people watching.
So, have you seen a lot of buskers, magic buskers?
Yeah, I have. It's not my favourite thing of magic, because one of the things with it is it's the constant, all street shows are the constant tease, because of course what's happening at the end is you're going to be, you know, there's a bottling speech, we want to get money from you, otherwise there is no reason to do it.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is, in a minute I'm going to do a miracle, right, you've seen this, but wait, because the thing that's coming now, and I know that's fine, and that's all life, that's wow, you know, magic trailers and movie trailers and everything is, stick around because the amazing thing's happening shortly.
Yeah.
But particularly with street shows, seeing as they often are, I think, you know, if you watch the entirety, probably 40 minutes, if you watch the whole street show from the build to the sort of bottling speech, it's a real old long time, and that constant, right, something shortly is going to happen, just needs a few more things for this to happen, and that sort of grinds me a little bit, but that's my own personal preference. If you've never seen one before, there's some great buskers out there. Yeah,
there really are. I mean, my friend from the US, Doug Conn, he's always putting videos up of his busking in New Orleans, and he's phenomenal.
Yeah,
really good.
There's some great magic, and it's the you know, the people skills. You need to be brilliant improvisers. You know, there's been you know, Gazzo and Jim Cellini. There's been some brilliant buskers over the years that are great magicians, as well as you know, able to deal with anything that happens.
Great entertainers
as well, and also you can just, you know, you don't have to be the guy with all the snappy gags. And think of what was his name? The guy from the US who put out DVD set, the sort of silent street magic, and it was beautiful stuff as well.
Oh yeah.
He died, but then they put out 4 DVD set.
Yeah.
I was going to say 10 years ago, but it could be 20. But between us, we'll remember his name.
Yeah.
Someone in the comment will know.
Yeah, let us know if you know. So Walter has put I can't get online Thursday. Is there a way to purchase Apparition before they're all gone? Walter, if you're desperate to order one, give the shop a call and we can reserve one for you. We do only have 100 in stock. Once they're gone, we are having more made, but they're going to be a few weeks away at least. But we've got 100 for Thursday night. So if you're desperate for one, give the shop a call. Otherwise, join us Thursday night and you should be able to get one. So let's see what else is. Jeff Sheridan?
Yes, is the correct answer.
And that was Jeff Holton that said that. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Here you go. Have a read of that, Noel, while I scan through here.
So, who do you take tidbits emanated from your inspiration and performing you like? Yeah, hold on. Who do I take tidbits from? It's a good question.
I think you're pretty unique. I will say that because
That's what the teachers always say.
A lot of people don't realise that you have studied stand-up comedy and a few other things. You're a very funny guy, and you have very much got your own style. Thank God that it's not.
Well, remember the thing you'd always hear, wasn't it? Is don't watch videos, as you'll end up saying the same things as the people in the magic videos, and I get the point of view, but the thing, you know, and we all love Michael Lamar, but the reason I was going to
say Michael
he's the top
Lamar
answer, isn't he? Because the reason I'm not saying cast a shadow over the deck is I can't say it without laughing. I'm feeling slightly uncomfortable. So for me is you have to be true to yourself. So for me, the two things that are most important as a magician is you need to understand how others perceive you, and you need to understand how people perceive you. You can either push massively against that and be like Bill Malone is pretending that that the women are crazy for him, that he's adored by them. Or you can either push massively against it, or you can push massively with it. So I know that I'm an odd guy, and I know that I can't do those kind of the jokey jokes that you'd see if you'd buy a magic trick. Certainly in the past, you'd get a magic trick and it would say, here are all the jokes and the patter lines, and terrible jokes about my wife, and all these bits and pieces. I can't do them because they ain't funny and they're not me.
Yeah.
So the only way to do those things is to find the real you. So I'll get inspiration from all kinds of things, but I know that if I get to a magic trick and I think if I buy something and it comes with any sort of suggested presentation, I'll find my own way of doing it. And often, if it has got that sort of, we'll call it sort of slightly old-fashioned presentation, you can still do those things by making those a joke where you say, obviously at this point I'm contractually obliged to say, pick a card, any card, so you're aware of the fact that you have to do the dumb thing, whatever those lines are. If you've got those clumsy moments, you can build that into your routine. Say, it's traditional at this point that I would make, a joke about your clothes, because it says that in the big book of magic jokes that I've got to say, or something like that. You still you do the gag, and you can deflect some of the damage by the way you deliver it.
Yeah, and the thing is, a lot of your jokes, if anyone's seen you perform, are very much created for you and the character that you put across as well, which is really good.
Yeah, they're not jokes, they're just character lines and little things, and just an asides and things. Also, be present in the moment. Know your magic so well that you can come out of your trick in the presentation. If someone's having fun, just join in with them. Great, let's go in that direction. Because we're trying to produce astonishment and amazement, and the cover for some of the sneakiness is humour, but it doesn't have to be. You can do your magic however you want, but if you are using humour to both add to entertainment and to cover magic sneakiness, then you can have those moments where you can come out of a character, just come out of the trick for a moment, do your little gag, come back in again, and enjoy it. If they're saying they got a funny retort to what you've said, you can play with them verbally for a little bit.
And the nice thing I like when I've seen you perform and is a lot of the times the funny lines you say, your character is sort of unaware that they're funny, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's for you. This is a true statement. But it's hilarious to us. Yeah. But you don't sort of react to it.
Yeah, I don't try to say that. So one of the things I think, if you, and a good friend said this before, but if you advertise yourself as a comedy magician, you better be funny. But if you don't advertise yourself as a comedy magician and you're funny, then it's great. I've seen this magician, he was amazing and he was funny. So you can find, I would never advertise myself as a comedy magician. There are, I'd hope, funny bits that happen during it, but it's never comedy magic. It is added value. So as soon as you say you're a comedy magician, you are being chased with, okay, well, let's see how funny he is. Oh, I quite like that trick. And then they decide on your merits based on that. But that's not fair. You should be in charge of that. You're just adding extra value with your, if you can come up with some funny lines throughout the show. And also, I'm always on the back foot. I'm never on the attack. Occasionally, I'll have a slight sort of soft pop at someone in a sort of playful way, but normally all of it is down to my any weaknesses that I might have, so they can enjoy those rather than me having a pop at them.
Also, what some people may not know is you fooled Penn and Teller.
Don't like to talk about it.
I've got a question about it. That's why it reminded me, because it's one of the things obviously I knew and I totally forgot other people might not know. Have you got your trophy yet?
No, I have not, and I am. Now. This is sort of. I'll give you the inside scoop. I haven't got it. I did when I was doing the Zoom shows, which I hope I never have to do ever again. I did quite like the idea of having it behind in the much the same way as you got these amazing things behind and all that.
Yeah.
It's a nice little thing to have behind table, but. I asked them about sending it to me because there was no way of me getting out to the US to get it, and they said quite happy to send it. They always break, so I was thinking, I mean, I'll send you £10 if you're short of bubble wrap. Like you can more bubble wrap. Well, I've bought a lot of stuff. You can glue it more. It's only acrylic. It's what's going to happen. I said, it's always breaking, and they cost. I don't know. It costs a lot of money and time to produce, which, I mean, I think I could give it a good go myself. It's only acrylic, but and then they did say to us, well, why don't you wait on and you can come and perform as the prize, perform at the end of the Penn and Teller show, and then they'll come on stage and give you the trophy. I thought, okay, that sounds amazing. And now we're 3 years later, so
is that still part of the prize?
Yeah, it's still part of the prize. Yeah, you get to do. So they do obviously. So since everything you'll have heard about it, COVID, all these, that's meant that no one was going out during that whole period. And I think Fool Us, I don't know if they've got an audience. I know they're making a new show at the moment. I think the last three series have all been virtual shows with a virtual audience. So if I don't know how many episodes I think there's a ton of people that have fooled them that need to go and do the show. And if they were up to date, they could put one in, let's say they put in one a month over a year, that would be enough. But I think they might have 40 or so people to do.
Wow.
And I think the way it works is when they give my spin to the public is I get to close the Penn and Teller show. But the reality is, I think what happens is that the Penn and Teller finish their show, say that's it, thanks very much, I'm glad you enjoyed the show. If you want to stick around, we have got a real treat for you. This is a magician that was on our show and he fooled us. So feel free to stick around. So it is the after show.
Yeah.
And I think at that moment they probably open the gates so as any magicians who are nearby can come in and watch the show. So sort of Vegas local magicians, I believe, can come in and watch it if normal people leave.
Right.
But either way, you are the last thing seen on that stage.
Yeah.
So I've asked them several times about when can I come out, and they said they'll get back to me.
Right.
So not yet is an answer.
So we've got a question from Rich. Question for Noel: was there anything you considered for Flawless that you didn't end up using, and why? Now, you've been shown on Flawless once, but you've actually done it twice.
Thanks.
And you fooled
Still
them
hurts.
twice, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I filmed. I was the first person chosen by Johnny Thompson, which is to be on the show for the pilot.
This was in the UK.
This is in the UK, and this is 2011, so a long old time ago. And I did the trick, and it didn't get shown. The trick went wrong, and then they said, "Well, don't worry, you can come back. Hopefully, we'll get a series. You can come back and do the thing." Did it again. It worked fine the second time, but the spectator I had looks like the angriest man I've ever performed for. I mean, somehow I must have wronged him. I mean, the face on him. So it never got shown. You can see, well, somewhere on the internet, I think, is a selectively edited version of it.
But you did you fool them? Did it go through to that?
No, it did. So it didn't. At that moment, they started speaking about the method, and I didn't want to expose the trick. So I could have been the difficult guy pushing, but I didn't. So I let that. I sort of said, yeah, you got me. It's fine. I'll be on my way.
And what a lot of people don't realise as well was the first series of Penn and Teller was over here in the UK, and it was brutal.
Oh.
It was brutal. I remember a good friend of mine, Damien O'Brien, rung me up and he said, "I'm going on Penn and Teller. What can I do?" And I said, "Well, why don't you do my 2-deck version of the Grail?"
Yeah.
Which he went up there and he did it. And I remember watching it on TV. They came out with their method, and I'm sitting there going, "Well, they've got that wrong. They've got that wrong. They've got that wrong." And he went, "Yeah, you're right." And they went, "Right, you haven't fooled us, off you go." And I rung him and I went, what are you doing? They got that completely wrong. And he went, "Yeah, but as we were going out, they said, don't argue with them because they'll just expose the trick."
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I was in the same room, yeah. Because we didn't know what was going to go on. In that very first episode, we had the big briefing and, I can't remember, Nick Einhorn and Archer and Ben Earl, and I think we were all in this big room. And they pretty much said, just be aware that we're finding our feet with this routine. Do not get into who's right with them, as they will just expose the trick. And no one wants that. No one wants tell your nan tune into TV while I have a fight with Las Vegas legends. That is So I rolled over very easily. Damon did. I think now it's a different beast entirely.
Yeah.
It's
respectful now.
Yeah. And what you're going to get also, going on the show isn't that scary thing. That first, for those crazy few magicians who said yes to going on that show the first time round, it's madness now thinking about it, because no one knew what the format was, including Penn and Teller. They didn't know what the format was. Well, they knew what the format was, but they didn't know how the exchanges would go. And over that first series, there was some tetchy exchanges with magicians.
Yeah.
It's all a very nice walk in the park, whereas it was slightly bloodthirsty in the early days.
Yeah. Someone said Benell didn't take that advice. He definitely argued with them. There was quite a few that argued with them, and it was a completely different show. I mean, now when you watch Penn and Teller Flawless now, they're very respectful to everyone, which is how it should be. Yeah. You're there as an act.
And we are feeding that show. There is no show without magicians, without them offering their. Obviously, it's a fair swap.
Yeah.
I go on the show. I get a little bit of telly. I can show me nan. Everyone, I can plug on my website. And they also get to produce a show for buttons, because. Magicians are desperate to be on telly, and they need a constant supply of magicians to perform a trick. And the idea that this fool us aspect of it is, whether you fool them or not, that's not important. It's just a telly opportunity. So obviously it's nice to be able to fool them, but the main thing is to go and do a good job.
Yeah.
In answer to Richard's question, did I consider anything else? No. I had applied to them before with the same routine, but I didn't really make a great demo video for it. And I just sort of said, if you can imagine this, and this would happen, but I didn't really sell it. And then when it was COVID times, I had obviously lots more times to produce a good demo video. And on that note, they are looking for people at the moment. If you've got an idea, it's fooluscasting@gmail.com is their email, I think. And if you have a video, create the video and make it look, don't do what I did the first time round, really colour it in. So if you've got this great idea for doing a trick and you need a prop making for it, or you need to be in a certain location, do those things. Even if it's just a rudimentary version of them, do those things rather than tell them, if you can imagine I'm holding a statue of Big Ben, you know, just buy one from Amazon for a tenner. Just colour it in for them.
Yeah.
Give them no chance to say no.
Yeah, no, that's really good advice. The other thing that I really like about the way Foolus has gone now is it's allowing magicians just to go on and do their act.
Yeah.
Because the first show over here in the UK it wasn't so much about what you were doing, it was about how many fake moves can you put into the routine to throw them off the scent and everything else. And that, you know, that dilutes the magic you're doing. That's not the way the trick plays. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like, rather than seeing Noel get up there and do his fantastic trick, you're now having to think of throwing them off rather than presenting this bit of magic that you've been working on for so long. Whereas now you are having people go on the show, and to be fair, you know, they go on the show, and anyone that's been into magic for a short period of time will know what they're doing because you've bought it. You know, or, you know, it's people just going up there doing their act, which means the viewer at home is getting to watch some great magic.
Yeah, and you'll get that money from Penn. There's a formula. Penn will always say some version of, so he'll always start with a big old positive, even if he has to hit you with, you know, so the soft thing, you know, oh, it's so great to see, you know, a magician from the UK, or whatever, you know, like a non-statement.
Yeah.
But it will say, oh, it's so great to see this, and that's a classic of magic that you've done there, and I really enjoyed it. And you know, we know that we wouldn't want to explain anything more than that, because for the people at home, they will absolutely love it. But for the magicians out there, I think you know that we know how it's done, and we don't need to say anything more. If you're just doing a classic of magic, or a well-known marketed item, or any of those things, those words are absolutely fine. You're happy with that. You got to perform on TV on a shiny studio floor show or on a remote thing, but either way, you've performed on that show, and you've got what you wanted, a nice little performance piece, and they've got what they wanted.
Yeah, it was when that first show hit, the first UK one, it was like an ALAKAZAM catalogue. At the time, if you think of it, it was you had the iDeck out with us. John Archer, his DVDs, Ben L, Past Midnight, Vanderput, was John on there?
John was on the series. I don't think he was on the series. He was on the pilot, but yeah, he was on the series.
Who else was on the pilot?
I've got a photograph somewhere deep, and I'll have to try and go through it, but I don't think...
Was Michael on the pilot? Michael Vincent?
No, Michael was on the series.
Yeah, he was on the series, yeah. But it was, that whole first episode was like a little Alakazam roadshow. Yeah, I should have had a stall outside the studio.
If you could go back now, you'd have a little cart selling Spendex. Yeah.
Right, we've got another trailer to play. So this is an old effect of ours which has just come back into stock, and it's one of my favourite sort of packet tricks that we've ever released. And I've got a lovely little handling for this that I explain on the tutorial video as well. And it's by a good friend of ours called Daniel Bryant. Fantastic effect. So let's take a look at the trailer.
That's insane!
So that's gone. That's back in stock. There's some lovely comments coming up about it. David Hand, I love my Gong. It gets great reactions. Very clever thinking. Darren Bain, Gong is one of my favourite AlakazamM releases. I love it. Panda Man says, how examinable are the Gong cards after, and how difficult are the sleights? You can do it sort of sleight free if you want. So it's easy enough for a beginner to do. With regards to how examinable the cards are, I've had no problem dealing them into spectators' hands and things like that. There are obviously gaffes going on, and it will use, like anything, an effect like that, it will use some audience management, but it's a great trick. Right, what else have we got here? Right, another question for Noel. Everyone wants to know what's going on with Noel. So Noel,
Yes.
what's in your EDC? I've never asked you this.
That, so that's a great question. I don't have a physical thing that I have with me at all times. I tend to always have a deck of cards, but not in my. If I'm going anywhere and I with some magician buddies, I'll have a deck of cards. That's about it. Or the latest trick I'm working on. I don't
So
do that
if
much.
you were
I don't do
going
much
out-
social magic.
Right, okay. So I always, if we're going out, I'll always pop a couple of things in Jenny's bag. Chances are I won't perform them,
Yeah.
but I'll always pop like a deck of cards if I'm not wearing a jacket or whatever. Pop it in Jenny's bag and a couple of other bits. I've always got on me my reoccurring coins and coins across. That's always in my pocket. At the moment, I've got another little. I tend to carry around what I'm practicing as well. So anything. So I've got Charming Chinese Challenge at the moment, which I just learned last week. So I've been practicing that. So that goes with me now. So when I'm watching, I'm currently editing or putting the finishing touches to the Apparition trailer. So while I'm sitting there and it's rendering or I'm watching it back, I'll just be going through the moves. But yeah, I've never really known. I've always known you just have your bag and you always just pull these random bits out.
Yeah,
there,
it's
but-
interesting. I think there's different categories, like you said. I have not been to a lot of actual parties or social occasions. If I'm in an environment where I know that someone will say, "Did you know that Noel's a magician?" Because I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, I'm the same.
If that's going to happen, then yeah, the same. I will bring items that don't look like I've brought stuff, or see if a girlfriend had put her in her bag. Things that I can pass off as, have you got, some coins, or a really nice thing. If you have got to give me a deck of cards and you are in a bar or something like that, and I've done this all the time, is let's say you had invisible deck with you. Go up to the barman and then say, "Hi, sorry, have you got the time?" Or just ask them some dumb question. Can I get a glass of water or something like that? And come back, leave whatever there for a minute. Come back with a deck of cards, saying, "Oh, great, they did have one." And the only thing to anyone watching, you walked up, you said, "Have you got a deck of cards?" and you came back.
Yeah.
And you walked back up again when you finished, and grabbed the glass of water, and then you don't even have to. No suggestion you've given them the deck of cards. Just put them in your pocket, and then anyone that's casually watching, clearly he returned the cards he borrowed there for a minute. So things like that, or I might do something with a Sharpie if I was in that environment. I might bend a coin or something like that, and if I needed a prop for that, it's reasonable to think I might have a pen. It's not reasonable to think I would have, a wooden locked chest or whatever the routine. I don't want to be the guy that's brought magic stuff out, because I remember a film that was a bit too close to the truth, 40-Year-Old Virgin, where the guy is hitting on the lady, and the kid, he pulls a rubber ear from the kid's ear, and the kid loves it, and then the very next scene is the kid going, "Wait a minute, does that mean you've always got a rubber ear with you?" And it's it's funny and it's true. You go, I don't want that stink on me at all. So all the time, if I've got something, I want it to be a justifiable object that I might have had But also, if I'm working on a trick or practicing it, that will be with me, but I won't be showing that to people. That's just for me to fidget with if I suddenly get stuck in a traffic jam.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think that's why I choose to carry what I carry, because they look organic.
Yeah.
So if I'm out and about, so another question for you, Noel. Do you have any regular performances, or have you had any? Have you had any like residencies or anything in the past?
Not for. Every so often I'll get sort of a chance of doing a residency thing, but just won't work out for various different reasons. In the past I've done them. I did Frankie and Benny's a lifetime ago, which was dreadful. But if you like to, the good thing about it is you got a chance to run material. You'll get stuff worked in so quickly. They tend to be long shifts. I don't know if TGI Fridays and all those, the usual places are still booking magicians, but I'm not the right man for that broad family dining experience.
Yeah.
But I did do Frankie Benny's, and then a few sort of fancy restaurants over the years. I've done sort of a run for a few weeks or a few months, but nothing really long term.
Right. Cool. Alexander Ross says, an excellent idea to ask someone for a deck of cards or another prop, which is
not my idea, but it is an excellent idea. Anything it's gimmicked but simple, and you realistically could have it in another environment. Obviously, the same thing as you could do it in different places. You don't have to do it in a pub, but if you had a gimmicked calculator and you're in a place of education or something, like doing a school or something like that, it's realistic to think I might go up and ask some other question and come back with this. Oh, great, they did have one.
Have a look. Okay, so is there one very old trick that you always perform? So this doesn't have to be one of yours. What would be your, if I handed you a deck of cards now and said, show us a trick, what would be your go-to?
It's the answer that no one wants because they expect it to be the answer, but it is the answer. I'm going to do ambitious card.
Yeah.
And because I know some magicians think, not again. That's we've seen it a million times. There's 8 billion people on the planet. It's the trick is to them. It's not the phases. It's the finish. That's all they. Cups and balls is the oranges trick to layman. Yeah. Ambitious card is then showman made the one where it appears in the wallet or it appears in the orange or whatever your finish is for ambitious card. That's the trick.
Yeah.
The rest of it, the body of it, the moves, the thing that's that we love, and a sequence of 27 different rises of the card in the deck. All that's great stuff for your magic mates. For me, it's boiled down 3 or 4 moments of huge magic that don't honestly make a lot of logical sense. I look at Tommy Wonder's brilliant ambitious card sequence, which is beautiful construction. The card rises to the top 3 times in impossible ways, and then I think it's 3 times total. Mine is silly because I'm used to working for drunk idiots, so I'm doing it rises to the top once, then they happen to choose the right card, then it's not ambitious card. I'm just doing every card trick I know under the guise of ambitious card. It's jumping around, and the quickest ways to get huge reactions are to do a lot of different tricks. But I will not put it into FISM. It does make a lot of sense.
Right. Question for Noel. Any advice on the fall? He can't get the bottom card to come out.
It should be fine. I would go slowly. I would say go slowly, watch the video back, make sure you've watched all of the instructions, because I've had a ton of people asking me questions and they've just decided to make up their own method without actually watching the instructions. Make sure you watch it all. Just go slowly, everything should be fine, and if you aren't having any joy, drop me an email and send me a video of what you're doing. And my email, if you can find my website, which is noelqualter.com, drop me an email and send me a video and we can have a chat, and I'm sure I can get you up and running.
Okay, question in Not really a question, just a statement from Roddy McGee, who says, I was wondering why you weren't answering your messages. Now he knows.
Well, yeah, that is a reason why I'll reply you very shortly. That is the exciting news for that.
Right, so that brings us to the end of this week's live. But before we say our goodbyes, I just want to play this and then we will be straight back.
If magic was real, then I think it would look something like that. In 2022, I bought out the Mirage coin set and it immediately got rave reviews from the entire magic community. People who'd never done coin magic before and experienced coin workers were all raving about the quality of the routines and the quality of the gimmicks. Well, now I'm back in 2023. I'm proud to bring for you what I consider to be one of the strongest tricks I've ever created, the Apparition coin set. Watch and don't blink, because if magic was real, it would look something like...
What? No! What the...
Right, so guys, that is happening this Thursday, 7 o'clock, right here on Facebook and YouTube. We've got the live launch of Craig Petty's fantastic Apparition. We'll also have an after show, so if you purchase it live on the evening, you'll get access to the after show where we have got some extra ideas and bonuses you can do with your Apparition set. So we hope to see you on Thursday. So there you go. So we got Alexander Ross. Thanks for having Noel in today, and thanks to him for all the advice and stories. One of the best today.
No, thanks, Alexander. Cheers.
Panda Man, I can't wait to get Apparition. So guys, that's it for us. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's live. We will be back on Thursday evening, 7 o'clock, like I said, right here on Facebook and YouTube with the launch of Apparition. And we will be back next Tuesday with the Alakazam Live, and Wayne Goodman should be back with us. So it just leaves me to say thank you to the legend that is Noel Quarter. Thank you very much, Noel.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for joining us every Tuesday. It really means the world to us. And thank you for all your support and all your orders that you've been placing. We got some great news coming out for our US and Canadian customers. We are currently working on opening our US warehouse, so we will be shipping a lot of items direct to you from the USA. And we may, fingers crossed, may be able to start shipping Apparition on Friday morning to you guys from our USA warehouse. But we don't know if we can yet. We're hoping, otherwise I'll ship from here. But we're pushing for it to happen. But it's going to be happening very, very soon, which will make not only your postage cheaper, but it will also make it a lot quicker. So anyway, thank you so much. We'll give you more information when we have more. But we will see you on Thursday evening right here at the AlakazamMagicUK live launch of Apparition. I'm going to leave you with another trailer. This is for Cut and Coloured by... oh my God, I forgot his name. Neil Tobin, my friend Neil. Here we go, Cut and Coloured. Enjoy.
How flexible are your fingers? Pretty flexible?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I'm a magician, so I need to make sure my fingers are extra flexible.
Okay.
And so I have a special medical device to help with that, but I can't do it myself. I need the help of a trained medical professional like yourself.
Now, I know what you're thinking. I know you're thinking, well, that just looks like a bunch of cards with hole in it. And you're right. But they are also highly specialized medical devices.
Ah.
You believe me?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, then this is going to be easy. Just to show you the level of thinking here. All the backs, blue. You don't look very impressed. The color blue is clinically proven to having a calming effect on patients.
Oh.
And the faces, look at these.
They're all Queen of Hearts.
They are all Queens of Hearts. They are the most calming, comforting cards in the deck.
Okay.
You buying all this?
Yes.
Fantastic.
But despite these outward appearances, if we put 2 in the middle, just like this,
Now, they are a device capable of inflicting pain on my hand. Ow. Okay, not a lot. Okay, you can stop. That hurts. Let go. It's not supposed to do that. I forgot to adjust it for size. The thing is, there are 2 in the middle, and the 2 blades in the middle, too much for me. They're for big. Those are people with big Andre the Giant size hands, right? I've got little necromancer hands. So we'll call this front one the safety, and we'll get that mostly out of the way. Because let me tell you the other names. We've got the front, the safety, the blade, and the back. Say it with me. You'll all be tested. Front, safety, blade,
and
back. Just like that. Make sense?
Yep.
So we get the safety completely out of the way. And now I'm going to go all the way in. Now it fits great, and we're just about ready to use it. Just give me 1 minute. I just need to get in the zone here. Okay. Doctor, if you can extend your finger toward me like that. And using all the gentleness of a trained surgeon, I want you just to lightly tap the top of that blade. Go ahead. Oh!
Huh? Oh my God!
Do it again.
What's happening?
Do it again. Keep going. You're getting a little overzealous there.
Oh my God.
Let's see if it's still attached.
Oh!
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's feeling really good. Way to go, Doctor.
Oh my God!
Applause for Dr. Matt.
Thank you.
Now, do you remember the names of these?
Uh,
We have the front.
Front,
Remember what the next one is?
safety,
Remember what the next one is? Blade and?
back.
Exactly. Jay, can you hold out your thumb for me like this? Because I know that as my doctor, you are going to want to get a good close look at that blade right there. It's just something, I'm not quite sure why it does this, but it does this every time. Go ahead.
Oh no!
Whoa! It's red! It's red!
Wait, turn it around, let us see. Whoa! Wait a minute.
How did that happen?
Magic. Hold out your thumbs. Because the weird thing is, none of the other cards are affected at all. It's just so weird. I really don't understand why this works. You tell me, what do you think? Next time I make this out of Teflon?
Pretty cool.
How did he do that?
A magician never reveals.